Good evening and welcome once again to the Whiskey Cowboy Live. Today's date is July 17th, 2024. It is a Wednesday. It has been another hot week again. Hot and humid. We got thunder showers rolling in and out, so we may see some while the show is going on tonight. We may not see some while the show is going on tonight. I have no idea. Oh, nose itches. Start the show when my nose itches. Any humming in the background, of course, is the AC in the studio. That cannot be avoided. It gets too dang hot. Too dang hot. We're waiting for folks to roll on in. As soon as folks hit the show, go ahead and say hey. Let everybody know you're here. Been an interesting day. Got a bunch more work done on the canoe. I've been revitalizing, restoring the 1970 Lincoln canoe. I think they're out of business. I can't get in contact with them. Nobody's been able to provide me with any information on them. I think they just closed up shop. Their online presence is still there. Their website and Facebook and such, but they ain't responding on them. So, don't know how that is. Again, usually the first part of the show is just rattling off and waiting for folks to join on in. We got a good show tonight. Going to go over the Trump shooting and various aspects of it. It's going to be quite interesting. I'm getting drop frames detected going out of my Streamlabs, but supposedly, according to YouTube, I've got an excellent connection. So once again, folks are going to have to let me know whether or not I'm getting too jittery. It is what it is. Been quite the day. Quite the day. A lot of things coming down at once. Hey, Pat. Pat's on board. Welcome on board. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to the ride. It's going to be a good one. Everybody's going to have to forgive my voice if it gets a little weak or something like that. It's allergies. I ain't going to be like Biden and whisper all night, though. Okay. Seriously. No joke. No, I should be fine, but if it's not up to par, that's the reason why. Hey there, Pat. How's the video and audio out there? Usually Laurel give me a test hit, but she's not here. Figured she'd be first on board. Judy says she's going to be a little bit late because she tends to drag in late anyways. But I told her don't be too late, so I'll be talking about some other stuff. But I can't hold off forever before we get to the goodies. Hey, there's Judy. Hey, there you go, Judy. It was you that said you were going to be late, right? Thought it was you. Tonight's coffee, blueberry cobbler from New England brand. She goes, yes, sir. Good. You folks probably read some of my stuff up there on Facebook today. I got some things I got to think about. Got to think about some things. There's Peggy. Says, hey there, I'm glad to be here on time. Good job, Peggy. I hope we get a bunch more new folks. Some folks that showed some interest, and I hope that they show up. I'm going to be winging this. I did not prepare a single note. I just been busy. But I did all my research, like y'all know I would do. I'm just going to wing it, and I'm going to ask for you folks' help if I forget something or something piques your mind. By all means, throw the question out there. But only when we get to that point. I'm gonna waste a little bit of time here with some Douglas Murray talk. Yeah, I like Douglas. Douglas is a cool guy. Oh yes, he's a homosexual, but that's between him, his partner, and God. Other than that, He seems to be a very intelligent, rational, and kind man. And he tends to be pretty much spot on with the stuff he says. So I like Douglas. I like Douglas. I was just listening to something that he had an interview about slavery. And again, Douglas is usually pretty spot on about things, but there was something he said at the beginning. It was like, no. They were discussing slavery, why people have slavery, and one of the top reasons he gave is you get free labor. You get free labor. Well, I can tell you, Mr. Douglas, not that I've ever owned a slave, because I wouldn't, and I think that the practice is abhorrent. But you've never owned slaves, nor have you owned farm animals. He goes, oh my goodness. John's going to make the equation between slaves and farm animals. Yes, I am. See, a lot of times people say, oh, slaves were always mistreated. No. A slave owner that mistreats his slave is the same as an owner of oxen or horses that mistreat their horses. It's a bad proposition. Now, were there abuses? Yes, there were. Does that mean that slavery is good? No, it doesn't. But most slave owners did not abuse their slaves. You reduce the quality work out of them. And, like I had said, I got chickens. Okay, let's say chickens, for instance. John's got chickens, so he gets free eggs, right? How many of you here think that I get free eggs because I own chickens? Free eggs. A show of hands. Who here thinks I get free eggs because I own chickens? Nobody's raising their hands. How about we raise a hand to see whether or not people can hear what I'm saying? Can people hear what I'm saying? Probably like, oh my God. Judy says, I don't think so. There we go. Pat's raising her hand. Okay, right. My eggs cost me more than if I went to the supermarket and got eggs. Peggy says, no, it's expensive to feed and care for livestock. Bingo. Farmers who have chickens and cows and stuff like that, they don't get free milk. They don't get free eggs. Now, there is a cost ratio, how much you put in versus how much you get out. And usually there's a middle ground. It's worse the less that you have. The cost comparisons, how much it costs, because like let's say you're talking about feed and stuff like that. If you buy feed in bulk, the more feed you buy, the cheaper you get it. So if you can buy more feed, your cost going in reduces versus the cost coming out. So again, usually the smaller the number, the worse the cost ratio is. That'd be the same way with slaves. Unless your slaves are growing their own food and providing all of their own stuff, their clothing, their shelter, their food, you've got to provide that. And if you're providing some of that by having some of your slaves work the field, that's diminished as well off of your end product. So again, there's no way that you're going to get it free. You don't get free labor. Now, if you work the prices right and the ratios right, you can have less cost going in versus let's say a free market. In other words, you just have a bunch of employees. Yes, you can get it for less. You ain't getting it for free. You ain't getting it anywhere close to free. The same way as when you own livestock. You ain't getting it for free. If you're lucky, you can break even. But then you go, well, if the cost for a slave owner is to break even, see, there's the right. It's not as simple as just you get free labor. It doesn't work like that. Again, this is not the cowboy justifying slavery. It's abhorrent. It's horrible. It's been there since the dawn of time, but it's still horrible. But it's not by default so that they can get free labor. It doesn't work like that. And if a slave gets hurt, you gotta pay for medical treatment, and then they're down. There's all sorts of variables that go in there. Same way with raising chickens. John's eggs, I can tell you, my eggs, the eggs from the gals, are better than any store-bought chicken eggs. They're great. Gus and Sally can tell you that, because I keep dropping off eggs to them. But they ain't cheap. They ain't free. So here you go. Not only am I paying for it, I'm giving eggs away. How do you like them apples? My eggs cost me more than buying eggs from the store, and I'm still giving them to folks. Pat says, always try to buy local. Yeah, well, yeah. Check your sources, though, because some of your local shit is bad, too. Same way as, always buy from a small business. Nah, there's a lot of shitty small businesses out there, too. Just being a big box doesn't mean you're bad, and being a small business and local doesn't mean you're good. It doesn't work that way. Wish it did. Doesn't work that way. My philosophy is buy local when it makes sense. Buy from small businesses or local businesses when it's cost effective. But I still have a budget and I still have to live. I just have to do that. Which brings me to one of my posts that I made today. And this is just the way it is. Unless things change financially for the better, I ain't going to be online. Or if I am, it's going to be a shadow of what it is. Because there's no way in hell that I'm going to keep working damn near 7 days a week from the time I get up in the morning till the time I go to bed putting out content. And getting no money for it, and I still have all the bills to pay. That's insanity. That's insanity. I've been doing it for over a decade now. I gave folks their chance. If they don't look, I'm not going to be offended. If people don't think that my content and what I provide for folks is worth $5 a month or what have you, not a problem. I'll just not be the voice. There's plenty of other voices out there, but if they want my voice, look, I got aggravation I got to deal with. All the research that I put in it, time I put in it, put out content every single day. Every single day. And it's not just, I got a Facebook page and I'm posting up other people's memes. Yeah, no, it ain't like that. Peggy says, feed isn't the only cost. Inoculation to prevent disease is very costly. Yeah, with chickens it's easy because it's usually once, and that's fine. We get them within the first 3 days. And that's fine. But yeah, other livestock, yeah, you got routine inoculations. But yeah, you also have bedding, you have shelter. There's other costs no matter what critter you have. Plus the fact that, like I told people, if you got enough scraps to get yourself a chicken coop and a run and stuff like that, you can do it fairly cheap. But if you don't have the extra stuff, it costs a lot to get your first setup. And that ain't going to get paid back in eggs unless you sell eggs and you have a shit ton of chickens. So that was one of the reasons we never had them. The missus wanted chickens. It's like I can't justify the cost. Well, when we had the egg shortage and the price of eggs through the roof, we're like, well, yeah, I think this year we're going to put in our budget because we try one major thing for the homestead, for the old Cowboy's house. One major thing. It's usually like a new appliance or fixing something that needs to be fixed or some addition to whatever we're doing. Well, last year it was chickens. So we put that money in for the chicken setup. Back to finances. One good thing is I don't own a dime for my setup. Everything that I have paid for. It's done and paid for. So it's not like, okay, I got a new camera. You notice the video quality is good. The audio is quality. I've got quality equipment here. It was invested and paid for. It's done. Wasn't put on credit cards. It's done. It's done. I don't own a dime on any of my equipment. The studio, the new studio, remember when I moved on over in here? It cost a good chunk of change. You start painting rooms and adding stuff to rooms, you're going to go, holy shit, I've just spent $400. Yeah. Can add up pretty quick. The cost of the move, done. So I'm not in debt for anything that I have. But I have property taxes. I've got bills to pay. And that's coming out of the standard household budget and not out of what people are sending in their donations to help the content going. So again, I pose this question. Let's say you go to church. Get a nice church, right? Got a nice pastor there. How long do you think that pastor in that church would stay if every Sunday when they passed that plate, nobody dropped a dime in it? How long do you think that minister would stay there at that church? How are you going to keep the lights on at that church? How's that pastor going to feed his family? So he's going to work a regular 9-to-5 job and put in all the time so that every Thursday and Sunday he got a sermon and teaching and plans for everybody and then ministering to everybody. He's going to do that out of the graciousness of his heart. How long do you think that's going to last? Oh, do it for the right reasons. Oh, ministers do it for the right reasons. Yes, they do. But they get paid. It's a job. You think people that jump around, missionaries, and they go all over the world, you think they do that shit for free? They're doing the right thing. They're spreading the word of God. Yes, they are. Do you think they're doing it for free? No, they're not doing it for free. There's not a single missionary out there doing it for free. They may not be living high on the hog, but they're getting paid. Their clothes is getting paid for. Their food's getting paid for. Their lodgings are getting paid for by somebody. They ain't doing it for free. But John's got to do it for free, right? I've been doing it for free for over a decade. I'm not bitter. Don't think I'm bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. Frustrated. Again, you can put up with a lot of shit if you're getting something out of it. And I tell you what, if folks think I'm doing this for ego, Jesus. No. ain't enough ego boost to put up with the crap I got to put up with. It's work. I got to do it. Like I said, I got to do the research. I got to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about. It's more so the case on like current events and stuff. The backgrounds for them, that's easy. You know, life has given me what I needed for that. But yeah, keep my page clean, don't I? You don't like a bunch of monkeys throwing shit all around, and there isn't, right? Shit doesn't happen by itself. You think I post up about every jackwagon I deal with? No, I just do the comical ones. Because it's content and I know folks like it. Y'all still hearing this? Now we got a bunch of people watching. Go ahead and type up, folks. Type up and let me know that you're in there. Say hey. If you're new to the show, definitely say hey. Tell us where you're from. Because we like to know. And we can get into this whole Trump thing. Damn, my mouse went to sleep again. There we go. Somebody mentioned me. talking about impeaching of SCOTUS. Somebody said it'd be pretty difficult. Folks don't know. Folks don't realize that there's been 2 Supreme Court justices that have been removed from the bench due to impeachment. First was an outright impeachment, and they were removed. And the second removed themselves with the threat of impeachment because he knew they had the case against him. So, yes, it can be done. You can remove a sitting SCOTUS judge. Peggy says, I get it, John. Unplanned expenses and depleted my budget, and I'm considering a part-time job to make it up. Yeah, it's and see, this is the thing for me. It's not like, oh my God, if people don't give to John, he's not going to be able to pay his bills. No, I'll pay my bills. But would you work what's the equivalent of 2 full-time jobs for no pay and aggravation, no matter how much you liked it? Let's say, here's a good example right here. There's a guy. There's at least one, but I know there's a couple fellers on YouTube, and this one guy, I've seen his videos quite a lot. It's pretty cool. And he lives in urban areas, and he has a lawn business. And what he does is he finds abandoned properties or people who just can't afford to upkeep their lawns, and he goes and he does them for free. Okay? And he records the videos and he puts them on YouTube. Do you think he really does that for free? No, he does it for advertisement for his business, and other people pay him money, and that gives him time to go and do these free properties. He doesn't do it because he's a saint. Yeah, he's a good guy. But do you think that he would just clean up properties using his own equipment, his own gas, his own time and money, to go clean up every single day a different property around the city and not get anything for it? He's got to pay his bills. I mean, this is just pure economics. So, yeah, that's that. So, again, I enjoy doing what I do. I really do. I enjoy putting out information for people. I really do. But it comes at a cost of time. And you all see, unless I have left the house, I put out content. Even if I'm working on projects, I put on content. When I'm off in Vermont, I try to at least put out something in the middle of cutting down freaking trees in the state of Vermont. Yeah. Last couple times I've been over there, cutting down trees, bucking them up, moving them, working my ass off, and paying attention to what's going on online. And putting out something for folks. It's a little bit of dedication, I'd say. It's not about ego. It would have been a whole lot easier to just get on with life. So there's links in the description of the show for ways folks can donate some ducats. Give me a tip. But yeah, I mean, I did the math. I mean, stop and think about it. I got over 7,000 followers on Facebook. What if 100 of them gave me $5 a month? Well, after, not including taxes I'm going to have to pay on everything, but after all the processing fees and stuff like that, I'll have at least $450. Well, hell, that's an electric bill and some groceries. You know, that's less I got to take out of my budget for the time that I put in. It doesn't take much. I try to tell people it doesn't take much. $5 a month. Like the rain, the river does not overflow because of a raindrop. Ain't a single damn raindrop causes a problem. A lot of them, yeah, and you got something. We also did. Well, what if 7,000 people paid me $5 a month? Well, shit, that's over $35,000 a month. No, I'm not expecting that. Trust me, there's some people online and they make that kind of money. I don't. I make zero. I've had people in the past give me some money. All of those donations, all the monthly donations stopped. I got nothing coming in. I still have bills going out, and I have bills going out at Zoom. I run a business account on Zoom so that I can keep it open and do things. Otherwise, every 40 minutes, the damn thing shuts down. Got notification 2 months from now, it's going to self-renew. $180 some odd dollars. Yeah. I don't even make $180 a month off of this stuff. I make zero. My MeWe page, to have a page, an official page, not just a member page, an official page, costs me money every month. Guess who pays that? I do. I can keep listing off the things. Yeah. Plus, time is money. Okay, we got 12 folks at least. Nobody's typing up. Hey, anybody who is watching, make sure that if you come in late, slide that slider up to the proper time, or else there's going to be a lag. You're not going to be. You'll see everybody talking and you'll hear me, but when you type, it's going to be typing 3 minutes ahead, according to what you're doing. You're going to have to wait 3 minutes before your comment even shows up on the screen in the chat area. We figured that out. We had a feller kept coming in late. He was the blacksmith guy. It's like, oh, it's a big lag. Wow, he's answering our questions. It's like, yeah, 3 minute lag. That's weird. No, he just he didn't move his slider. He came in late and it was playing 3 minutes back. So, okay, I'm going to do a countdown, and I want one of you gals, since the gals are the only ones that are talking right now. When I say go, I want you to type that you heard me say go. I want to see what the lag is to make sure we're doing okay. So I'm going to do a countdown now. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that was about a 3 second lag from Peggy. That's good. 3 seconds fine. 3 seconds fine. Judy says I hear you. Pat says go. So we get a little bit of a lag out there. Not too bad. Okay, let's talk about the Trump shooting. Y'all ready for that? Going to start out the thing by some gal underneath a shared comment of mine. She didn't take too kindly to my critique of the situation. Called me an armchair jockey, 'cause she'd rather listen to Dan Bongino, who is a former Secret Service officer, agent. And he could take care of it. So, of course, since I am not Dan Bongino, I guess I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, here's a little hint for you. I've done protective details before. I ain't new to it. But it's not rocket science. Number 2, I heard what Dan Bongino said about the situation, and guess what? He agrees with everything that I said 100%. He didn't say anything different than I said. Like I always say, the truth is the truth. Don't try to disparage it because it doesn't come from the mouth that you like. And you don't like what the person has to say. How dare I disparage the Secret Service? Yeah, we're going to get into that. Move this coffee out of the way. Move my other one, my Orca mug. Love this Orca mug. Let's talk about that Secret Service, that giant clusterfuck. Peggy says, anyone who can think critically knows the whole situation is nuts. Yes. So let's break down what happened with the Secret Service. The Secret Service allowed a shooter to take shots at the former president, who was under their charge. He was their principal. It's called a principal. Like I said, I've done that. I've done both, done area, like a personal detail, and I've also done convoy security, movement for principals. And there's different techniques for both, but I've done it. When your principal is in danger, you take them off of what Dan Bongino calls the X. In other words, Trump number 1 shouldn't have been allowed to even be on the X. Why? Because they knew somebody was walking around earlier with a handheld rangefinder. And that person was not in custody. So until you clear that up and make sure that the area is secure, the principal does not move to the X. They brought Trump to the X. Everybody's talking about how great the shot was. Not. Shooter was a lousy shot. Yes, that contradicts everything that you hear out there, and I'll explain why. But okay, so the first thing is they allowed Trump to be on the X, and the area wasn't secured. Number 2, those who were surrounding Trump were extremely late. Oh, they look pretty fast to me. No, these people are trained. They were moving like turtles. Number 2, the agents that were closest to Trump, who part of their job is to shield the principal, were not even as big as Trump is. You need to have at least roughly the same size, not a bunch of freaking smaller people. Trump also says, hey, tackle me like linebackers. I hate that. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. He had to collect his shoes. Oh, because they knocked him out of his shoes. No, they didn't. Watch the footage. No, they didn't. I hate lies from all sides. Trump is a known exaggerator. What's most likely is Trump's feet were hurting and he slipped his shoes off. Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened, but that's a likely thing. Because they didn't tackle him hard enough to knock him out of his shoes. They were trying to push him down to the ground. Again, the footage is out there. And then they were trying to get him out of the area. And they still didn't shield him very well. Then the team that was around the car, the infamous, I call her Secret Service Pam. Overweight, short, untrained, in a frazzle, didn't know what the fuck she was doing, couldn't even holster her gun. Really? Really? This is here's a little tip. Here's a little tip. And I tell people who carry all the time. Do not pass the chance to practice your draw and your put away. And you go, gee, well, you go to the bathroom, don't you? When you go to the bathroom, do a quick but controlled draw. When you're done going to the bathroom, put your damn sidearm away. It's easy. How many times you go to the bathroom a day? 3? 4? Gals, be more than that. There should be no excuse why she did not know where her fucking holster was. Steven says all 3 of the ladies agents at the van looked like they had no idea what to do. Exactly. And lest we say, oh, we're picking on the gals. No, the guys were soup sandwiches too. The gals were just really noticeable. By all accounts, they were also backups. They were not the original detail. From what I understand, a bunch of his original detail were taken off and given to Jill Biden for security on that day and replacements put in. So the team wasn't even a team used to working together. But I can tell you what, I'm pretty trained. I can work with just about any team. The stuff is the same. This is my position. This is what I'm going to do. You can trust I'm going to do it. Now, granted, if your team has more practice together, more time together, it works a hell of a lot better. But what we saw there was a complete fucking shit show. And then what makes it worse is the Secret Service gal, not her, not the agent, but the head of the Secret Service, she's going to lie about shit. Now, I'm going to tell you where the lies come from. Remember, most of the time where there's a lot of problems, it isn't the issue that's the problem. It's all the lies, cover-ups, and shit afterwards. So instead of taking responsibility for a totally dropped ball, she's going to lie to try to cover it up. First lie. Why wasn't there any snipers on the building that the sniper was on? Well, because it was a safety issue and it was a sloped roof. So really, the other two actual Secret Service agents were on roofs. We got pictures of them with a much steeper slope than that building had. And she expected everybody to believe it. I'm going to piss down your back and tell you it's raining. Lie number one. Now it's coming out that the Secret and the Secret Service agents, they were told, well, why didn't you shoot the shooter? They admitted it at first. They admitted, we had the shooter in sight for 3 minutes. I'm sure you did. You can see him. But we didn't shoot because we needed to make sure that it just wasn't somebody with a scope, and you can get in trouble if you shoot. No, bullshit. Number one, you're in a higher elevation. You had a better vantage point. You could see that there was a rifle, and so could the general audience there. It was reported to police. So that you did, I just didn't know. Bullshit. You saw the rifle. Stop fucking lying about it. So that's lie number two. And you know that was a damn lie. And it comes back, you know what was a lie? Because it comes to find out they were unsure. They thought that guy was a police officer that was on the other roof. Why? Because that's where the local PD was supposed to place one of their sniper teams on that building. Oh. You go, well, that makes sense why you didn't shoot him. Yeah. But he should have also looked and said, hey, this dude does not look like a police officer. But it was at least halfway plausible. Then we're told the local PD had a sniper team, but instead of placing them on the building, because of safety concerns, they placed the sniper team in the building. Why would you place a sniper team in a building? That's freaking retarded. That doesn't make any sense. Now I get Trump's patting the Secret Service on the back. Thank you for risking your life. And so, no, you've got Trump got himself a body modification. Could have lost his life. We'll get into that. That shot would have killed him if he hadn't turned his head. Nah, no. Maybe. It might. Maybe. Oh, but it hits his head. Yeah. Hits his head at an angle where your skull is. Bullets ricochet. And let's say it went straight through. He had at least a 50% chance of living after that shot. Steven says, so you shoot to hit the rifle to say, no, you don't. No, you don't, Steve. Sorry, no. You shoot to kill. That movie shit disabled the rifle. No. Peggy said this kid walked with security with the rifle. Walked by. Yeah, he came in another way, and he had a freaking 5-foot ladder. He had a 5-foot ladder. Everybody saw him, but we'll get to the kid. But the shot that Trump shot. No, we've seen people shot in more critical areas of their head and still survived. So that shot isn't it. Oh, he would have died. No, he's got at least, it's a coin toss. He got at least a 50% chance of living with that shot. So again, I hate people just exaggerating shit. We don't know. He could have lived. He could have lived and still carried on for the rest of his life. We got people living with half of their brain. Because the human body and the brain is an amazing thing. You've got to really do some damage. So that's another issue. We'll get into it's an excellent shot. No, it wasn't. But we'll get to that when we get to the kid. So we've got all of these comedies of error. As soon as the Secret Service saw that there was a threat, and Dan Bongino said the same thing, you don't have to wait till there's a shot. That was the other excuse. You had to wait till they shoot. We're told they have to wait till... That's bullshit. You don't have to wait until they shoot. As soon as they shoot, especially if they're any good, the damage is done. If you think they're going to shoot, if they pose a threat of shooting, you shoot them. And no, you don't shoot to disable the gun. No, that's movie shit. This kid, 3 hours earlier, was flagged by security specifically. To watch out for. So everybody knew about him. How the hell do you not find that guy and stop him if you are police or Secret Service? How do you they knew, but they flagged him. They wouldn't let him in, and then they flagged him as a person to watch out for because he was acting weird. And he was walking around with damn light, a rangefinder. What the hell? Now, the Secret Service also said, oh, that building was the local PD's responsibility, so we didn't. Are you kidding me? At a bare minimum, the Secret Service would have and or should have at least verified that the area was secure and handed it off to the police. Supposedly there was a police officer who actually confronted the kid when he was up on the roof, and the kid swung his rifle around so the officer retreated. What the fuck? What the fuck? No, none of this shit can happen. No, that's not real. Here you go. I try to tell people, do not equate to nefarious reasons that which can be easily explained by pure stupidity and incompetence. You go, but this is the Secret Service and this is the police. Yeah, it is. What was that little town down in Texas called? Where they had 400 fucking police officers there and allowed shit to go on for over 45 minutes and not a single one of them did a goddamn thing? Uvalde? Ring a bell? 400 police officers. So do not dismiss incompetence, cowardice, and gross mistakes as a possible means. We'll get into another issue. But that covers the local PD and the Secret Service. Now, the Secret Service has been bragging, and the director of the Secret Service has been bragging that she's trying to up the minority and female quotient in Secret Service. She's been bragging about that. This is a Secret Service. Stop it. That's the same way as when they pull that shit with the military. This is military. Stop it. You want to try your social experiment and your equity crap? You do that in a non-critical role. In these critical roles, you get the best people for the job, period. If they happen to be female, great. These types of jobs, chances are they ain't going to be. They ain't got the size, they ain't got the stamina, they ain't got the speed. Oh, some may. There may be a few minority out there. Same with firefighters. Yeah, there may be a couple gals that might be able to carry another dude out of a fire, but chances are there ain't going to be many of them. So you pick the people who can do the job the best. You give two shits about what their fucking ethnicity and sex is. Peggy says hopefully she'll be gone in 6 months. Yeah. Well, there's a reason why she ain't gone right now. Because I was like, why the fuck isn't she immediately fired along with a shit ton of other people? Well, it comes to find out that the Biden administration, the DOD, and the Department of Homeland Security, they're shielding this whole operation. They're preventing investigations by Congress and outside sources. They're playing fucking blockade for the Secret Service, and they have told her to shut the fuck up. That's why she hasn't been saying anything lately. They told her shut the fuck up. If she doesn't, they're going to fire her. She wants to keep her job. She should resign. She is incompetent. Her entire fucking team is incompetent. This DEI crap. Again, keep it out of mission critical areas. Stop it. You want to do your social engineering in a non-critical area? Whatever. Even try freaking waterworks or the electric grid, whatever. See if you can get more gals in that. Stop it. Pathetic. So they're now going to play the cover-up game, and they already tried to start from the first moment. That's the shit that pisses me off. Like, we don't know any better. Stop it. Again, this is coming from everybody that knows even an ounce about security and what's supposed to go on, as well as anybody anybody with an ounce of common sense, right? You can take a third grader, your average third grader, and go, okay, this is the situation. Now, where do you think it'd be best to take a shot at somebody? Now, what do you think you should do to take care of that before it happens? The average third grader can figure this shit out. Complacency, stupidity, lack of training, lack of qualifications brought it to this. You don't need any big conspiracy. As I posted the other day, the more people that you need to successfully pull off a conspiracy theory issue, the less likely that it's an actual thing. Number one, the more people, the more mouths. You got to get everybody on the same sheet. You mean that the local PD and the Secret Service all got together and they all agreed that they're going to let Trump get shot? Is that likely? And then a lot of the left is floating out that Trump set it up. It's like, really? Trump's going to hire a fucking lousy shot retard to take a shot at him and hope that he misses so that he can get some kudo points? Give me a break. He wouldn't have even had an Olympic shooter. Try that shit. No. It's his life that's on the line. Trump has an ego. Yeah, he ain't got that big of an ego. So that's stupid. Good coffee. Okay. So now we cover the Secret Service and we cover the local police department, which are a bunch of fucking retards. They should be ashamed. Everybody there should be ashamed. Let's get to the shooter. This is what the media is running with. Since he was a teenager, he has been a rifle enthusiast. He's been a rifle enthusiast. The shooter was a rifle enthusiast from the time he was a teenager. And they back that up because him and his father are both members at the local sporting club. That's like saying that somebody had a membership at Planet Fitness, that they were an avid weightlifter, and they were running for Mr. Olympia. That don't mean shit. This kid, 20-year-old young man, who, by the way, you look at his head and his face, he looks like he had fetal alcohol syndrome. Now, I'm not saying that's what he had, but he's either got a genetic disorder because he got a fucked up melon, or fetal alcohol syndrome, which is most likely. Both of his parents are are certified counselors. Now they say, oh, there's no history of him having any mental health issues. Both of his parents are fucking certified counselors. You think they're going to send their kid off to somebody else? Stop it. His father had a lot of guns. The rifle that was used was his father's gun. Would a rifle enthusiast who's 20 years old, would he not have his own rifle? It just doesn't make any sense. Rifles don't cost that much. He could go low end and have a scope and a rifle for just over $1,000. He could go high end and pay $3, $5, $12 for the entire setup. But you don't need to pay that high. So he was supposedly a rifle enthusiast, 20 years old. 2 years older than what he needed. 2 years older than what's needed for him to legally purchase on his own rifle, and he didn't have his own rifle. Yeah, he was an enthusiast, all right. What's also known about him is when he was a freshman in high school, he tried out for the school's competitive shooting team. Literally, he was laughed out of the damn group. He didn't make it a day. He was so bad. He didn't even make it one day on the team. So you go, okay. So he was a rifle enthusiast, never talked about rifles to anybody. We'll get into who he talked to about what in a minute. But he was a member of that sporting club. By all accounts, it's a pretty good one too. So a lot of people have family memberships to things. You can get discounts by having more of your family there. It's how things work. Again, it's like a gym membership. Just because you got a membership doesn't mean that you're using it. Well, the day before the shooting, he went to the range. Okay. The day before the shooting, he went to Home Depot. Excuse me, coffee. He went to Home Depot, got himself that step ladder. Which is kind of, it's easier to lug around than a regular one, but okay. Got himself a 5-foot step ladder. Went to the range. The day of the shooting, he went and he bought 50 rounds of ammunition. Now, I think he was found with 150 rounds or something like that on his person. He was more than 50. And that's fine. That's easier to do than what people think. They know this about him, and that's what the media is putting out there. And I'm going to tell you, it's not what you know, it's what you don't know that's oftentimes important. They know that he went and practiced at the range the day before the shooting. He bought the ladder, and he went and he bought 50 rounds of ammunition that morning. They know that. Why isn't anybody saying how often he went to the range? I tried to call the range today, and they're not answering their phone. I understand. I get it. I was hoping I could talk to somebody. Because the real question isn't whether he was there the day before practicing. The real question is how often did he go to the range? Did he go every week? Did he go once or twice a year? Because, see, from the time he was a freshman until this happened, it was 6 years. 6 years had passed. It's a lot of time. And nowhere in that time does anybody talk about him talking about guns. But they know, and they're going to say, he went the day before and was practicing at the range. My estimation is that may be one of the few times that he went there. Again, this is a quote-unquote rifle enthusiast who didn't even own his own rifle. Doesn't make sense. He had a job. He worked at a local old folks center. nutritional nutritional tech or some shit like. Yeah, he helped make and serve food. I'm not trying to belittle. I just thought that the title that they were giving him then their way. No, just say he worked in the kitchen and he helped serve food to the elderly. That's good enough. That's fine. It's a perfectly respectable job. That's fine. Yeah, I guess he went to college to get himself an entry-level degree in business management or some crap like that. Whatever. Those are throwaway degrees. Anybody can earn those. But he had 2 years and a decent job. And he didn't own his own rifle. Okay. Not what I would call an enthusiast. Okay, I want some folks to say that the signal's going out. Nobody's typed anything yet. So I want to make sure you're all still with me. And if you've got any questions about any of this at any time, you just go ahead and throw the questions up, and I'll go ahead and answer it for you. About the shooting, everybody's saying what it was. It was so lucky that Trump moved his head. Yes, it was. But it was actually more lucky that the bullet was that close to his head. The kid fired anywhere between 5 and 8 shots. 3 of them were somewhat close to Trump. You fire off 5 to 8 shots, just take the scope off. Just point the gun in the general direction. Look right down the barrel. And just, Drew says, just listening. No, that's good. I just want to make sure that everybody's here and everything. You're bound to get close on a couple of them. Just the odds. You're bound to get close. It was not a miraculous shot. Oh, that's a really hard shot. It's 150 yards, give or take. Judy says, I didn't know half of that. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. Like I said, folks are going to find out some new stuff. 150 yards. That ain't that hard of a shot. It really isn't. You go, well, it is if you're aiming for the head. Yeah, 3 shots came close to him and one went through his ear, his tip of his ear. That was a lucky shot. There's no way that those were aimed at the T. When you're hitting for the head, the T is right here. Right here. It forms a T between your eyes and your nose. Forms a T. That's where you want to hit. That's where you aim at. He didn't come close to that. He fired 5 to 8 shots. One of them got sort of close. That's not a good shot. I'm not trying to disparage the kid. But I try to explain to people, hunters who only go out minimally before hunting season to make sure their shit's dialed in, don't get a lot of range time, take down deer and hit them in the lung or the heart routinely at that range. It's not that difficult of a shot. Could you do it? Yeah, I was actually rated an expert. Thank you very much. Both the pistol and the rifle. So, yeah, I'm good. But even if you're not, hell, getting close in a man-sized target, you didn't have to shoot at the head. Judy says, easily. Right. This is not some amazing shot. This is a shot that anybody that qualifies in the military, just barely qualifies, can make. It's not that spectacular. Everybody hyping things up more than it is. That's why I said on the page, I hate it when people do that. The truth is bad enough. He shouldn't have been able to shoot those shots out. And stop and think about it. 5 to 8 shots. Trump was hit in the ear. 2 other people were hit and injured, and one other person died. That's really not very many people for 5 to 8 shots. Shooting into a crowded area. I mean, people are forgetting that. Where the fuck did all those other bullets go? The kid was not skilled. Now, it had been posed to me, well, maybe he... I'm going to wait here and make sure that it picks back up. Okay. Okay, it seems to be connected again. Are y'all getting my stream again? You might have seen a glitch in there and a jump. But you're still out there? Probably the storm playing fritzes with the internet connection. Can all hear me now? Okay, Pat's got that. Okay, fantastic. I hate rambling on and losing anything. Where the hell was I? Where was I? How good the shot. Oh, nervous. Says, yes, he might have been nervous. He might have been nervous. But he might also not have been nervous, because a lot of people who have resigned themselves that they're going to die, he was under no fucking misunderstanding that he was not going to come out there alive. A lot of times people in that condition become very calm. They got nothing to lose. What the fuck are you getting jittery for? You've already resigned yourself to die. They can be some of the most calm people that you've ever seen. So I don't buy that he just got nervous and he fucked up because he was nervous. Yeah, he might have, but he might not have. I just think he was a lousy shot. So that's my thinking on it. And I ain't heard anybody out there say similar. But as you often find out, hey, John says a lot of stuff other people aren't saying. And I go, that's fine. Yeah. Then use your noggin. Use your noggin and see what makes more sense. But okay. So we got that done. Let's talk more about this kid. Remember how I said it's what you don't know that you should know that's sometimes more important than what you know? It says no data. What the hell? Excellent connection. Whatever. It keeps bouncing back and forth. That damn thing. He was also found with a remote control, a remote device, for 2 IEDs in the trunk of his car. Okay? Get back to what you don't know. 2 IEDs in the back of his car and a remote detonator with him on scene. Okay, we know that. They got his cell phone. They went to the house. They got all of his journals and all of his writings and all of his computer and everything like that. No text to anybody. Very limited social media. Never talked to anybody about politics online. Didn't talk about guns online. No search history for any bomb-making shit. There's 2 IEDs in the trunk of his car with a remote detonator. This kid's a blank slate. This is the only part that confuses the hell out of me. Except, I'm going to throw a curveball in there after I'm through. You should know. You could search my search history and you're going to find all sorts of shit. Bomb shit, political shit. Why? Well, because I like to look shit up. It's not that I'm a radical. I like to look shit up. Remember when there's a pipe bomb? Well, gee, they said there's a pipe bomb outside the Capitol complex. So what's the first thing most everybody does after that? Is they go and they do searches for pipe bombs and anything to do with that because they're curious. That's the average person. How many here after they heard about the pipe bomb just found themselves looking at other bomb-related stuff online? Or even talk to people about bomb-related stuff online? He had nothing. He had nothing. No contacts, no strange numbers. Virtually no internet stuff of note. No friends group. Nothing. Really? 20 years old. Nothing, huh? There's only two explanations that would account for that. There's only two. And you go, oh, you're talking about the CIA. Yeah. Yeah, one is the CIA or the NSA, something like that. He was a Manchurian candidate style person, and they've been grooming him since he was in high school. That's one explanation. You go, okay, a lot of people are buying that shit. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Really? They were grooming him for this particular moment. Or maybe it was any moment, right? Just, any moment. And this just happened to suit their fancy. Yeah, we can go like that. Makes a good movie. I don't believe it. Now try this on for size. They found shit. And they're saying they didn't find shit. And the reason they're saying they didn't find shit is for the same reason that they were hiding and don't want the Catholic school shooter manifesto and accompanying documents released to the world. Same reason. Because they just don't want it out there. They don't want the confirmation that everybody fucking knows. So we just say it's not there. They controlled the whole scene. They mopped everything up. Why? Because they don't want to further divide the country. Because as soon as it comes out that he was radicalized and led into doing this by somebody or something relatively recently, that would open up another can of worms and people get pissed off. That's a more likely and plausible scenario than he's a Manchurian candidate style. You know, they've groomed him from the time he was 15 to assassinate some dignitary. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Really, a kid from Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. A kid from backwater Pennsylvania. But see, this is the thing. I get online and everybody, got to have the conspiracy theories out there and the juicy stuff. And it's like, damn, shit usually isn't that glamorous. The simple solutions are usually the right ones. I'm more likely to believe that the excuse me, the Secret Service failures were something that's been worked on for quite some time to weaken the entire agency. I'm of that belief. The same way as in the military. Our military is fucked. Everybody, I love our military. You won't find anybody that loves our military in our country more than I do. But I am not so in love with it that I'm blind to the reality that it's a shithole. It's full of incompetent people. The morale is low. We are at the lowest numbers since the 1940s. They cannot recruit the right kinds of people. It's like, this is just, everything's rotting from the inside out because they think it's a fucking social experiment. And our police departments across the United States are the same fucking way. Bunch of incompetent idiots. Don't get me started on seeing fat cops or cops that, look, I ain't a young guy. They say, John, but you're a big guy. Yeah, I'm a big guy, but I ain't a young guy. Every single police officer on every single police department out there that I come in contact, every officer should at least be able to give me a run for my money. Ain't seen it. Handful maybe. Most of them, nah. You're going to go, what the fuck are they going to do if I say no? Hell, they're going to shoot me? I'm more armed than they are. They're going to take me down? Not happening. They're going to fight me? Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. And this isn't bluster. This is, look. And again, I saw it when I was a cop. If you're out of shape and get the fuck away from me. You're a liability. Fat cops, got no use for them. Cops that are too small to do anything, got no use for them. I don't care whether they're a male or a female. But it takes the best of females to match the average dude, and they can't even do that. This isn't sexist. It's biology. They're not made for that. Stop it. You're going to get people fucking hurt, and it does get people hurt. And we're seeing that playing out because people have got society's got their heads up their asses. They need to stop. They need to stop. But back to the shooter. Here's another bit of information. Did y'all know that the shooter's parents called the local PD earlier that day to make a report that they didn't know where their son was and they were concerned? He's 20 years old and it's in the middle of the day on a weekend. And you call the police because you don't know where the fuck he is? He's 20 years old in the middle of the day. Who in a normal situation, their first thought is to call the local police department to say that they don't know where their 20-year-old offspring is in the middle of the day? So the police already got a call about him before he even showed up at the damn event. What the fuck? But like I said, if there wasn't something wrong and the parents didn't know, who in their right mind would call the police because they didn't know where their 20-year-old offspring was in the middle of a day? Now, you know, if they live with you and you haven't heard from them in like 3-4 days, and that's unusual, you might go, yeah, something's kind of fishy here. That's not the case. That's not the case. Judy says a lot doesn't add up. That's really weird. It is really weird. My hunch is it's extreme incompetence, and that is trying to be covered up. I have no doubt what are the odds that this kid didn't talk to anybody? Nothing on his phones, nothing on his computer, nothing. Like I said, they could check our shit and they're going to find something. I mean, it's not nefarious, but they're going to find something. Nothing for him. What are the odds? This is a cover-up. It's another fucking cover-up to cover up people's incompetency. And then everybody's going to have these wild conspiracy theories. Yeah, I know my version and my estimation and views on the topic. They're not pretty. They're not as wild and fanciful. But they make a shit ton more sense than anything else out there that I've heard. And we've seen this shit for this, like, oh, but they couldn't be that much incompetence going. Again, Uvalde, hello? 400. Whenever somebody says it can't be that much it has to be conspiracy theory because there can't be that many incompetent people. 400 Uvalde. And if anybody ever, if you bring that up and anybody ever doubts that, that's all you got to do is say, I'll give you a location and a number. Uvalde, Texas, 400. Don't tell me you can't get a bunch of fucking stupid, inacting people. It makes a hell of a lot more sense than, yeah, the bad guys, they got the local PD, all the event workers, and the Secret Service to all play together to let this unskilled shooter assassinate Donald Trump. Yeah, that's the more logical explanation. Not that it was a giant shit show with 50,000 errors involved from feckless, incompetent people. Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes a hell of a lot more sense. Yeah, the CIA, they got everybody to work together. And nobody's going to talk about it. Yeah. You go ahead and put your money on that horse. You put your money on that horse. Judy says you make a lot of sense. There are some stories out there I can't make heads or tails. Right. That's why I told him. I know it was. My page has not been. Oh my God! I could have had shit explode all over the place if I ran with any number of stupid theories. But I said, number one, let's sit back and let's see what information we can get from this. And there's people like, oh, we'll never know anyways. Well, yeah. Then if you think that we'll never know, the intelligent thing is just make shit up off the top of your head and fucking run with it. Especially not even days after it happened. Do you know how long it takes to investigate shit? It's like somebody tried to get feisty with me concerning witness statement. Well, there was a witness and they said they saw multiple gunmen and all this other stuff. Yeah, you go ahead and you believe that witness statement. I wrote an article about it the next day, saying exactly what witness statements are and what purpose they serve and how reliable they are. Witness statements are notoriously inaccurate, which is why you take a bunch of them, and then within 3 days you go back in and you re-interview those who gave a statement, and you'll find the stories oftentimes change. Lawyers will say, oh, they changed their story so they're lying. No, because the human brain takes, under stressful situations, takes about 72 hours to process everything that it saw. You're going to forget shit. And you're going to remember shit different immediately after a crisis situation that may not have been accurate. Why? Because your body is hyped up. Your senses are fucked up. What you hear might not have been what you hear. What you see might not have been what you saw. And you could be dead certain of it. Yes, that is. I'm not saying you're a liar. I'm saying you're mistaken. Times are almost always wrong. That's why I say I will never give times. Distances are almost always wrong. Details are almost always wrong. How many times you heard something? The first thing you did, you heard it and you thought it was something, you figured out later that's not what it was at all. And then number two is you thought it came from a certain direction, you found out shortly thereafter it didn't come from that direction. That's only where the sound bounced from. So again, this is just one way that the witness testimony can be wrong, and what you think you heard or saw could be wrong. Here's nothing. How long do things take? Oh, it only took a couple seconds. It might only taken a couple seconds, or it could have taken 30 seconds or a minute, and that's a huge amount of time. Doesn't sound like a lot. It's a huge amount of time. If I was to sit here and not talk for 30 seconds, you'd go, when is this guy ever going to talk again? Or you can think that it took, oh yeah, we talked for 5 minutes. Yeah, and you talk for about 45 seconds to a minute and a half. Time perception is really screwed. The same way as if you're interested in something, time flies, boom. If you're waiting for something, time goes super slow. Again, perception. Time didn't change. Perception changed. That factors into witness statements. Distances. Here you go. How far away was it? Most people don't know. They think they know. I give the example all the time. How long do you think that the dashes in a roadway, you know, the center dotted line, how long do you think those are? Most people say, oh, what, 2-3 feet? I challenge you to find one that's 2 or 3 feet. Just one. Most of them, 6 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet, longer than your car. And the faster the speeds on the highway, the longer the dashes are. They have to be. Because how you perceive them when you're driving changes. Hey, Donna. Donna, you missed a shit ton. You're going to have to watch from the beginning. So again, distance. People don't know distance either. So they'll tell you, and lawyers fuck up testimony all the time from people because of that. And they go, if they can catch them wrong on these certain facts, they can throw everything out. It's a trick that lawyers do. Investigators know that there's going to be some discrepancies. And again, witness statements are notoriously filled with errors, no matter how genuine the person is. And sometimes they just outright lie. Don't discount that. Witness statements are also influenced by people around them, either the people asking the questions or the people that were around them shortly after the event. Because if everybody starts talking about something, oh yeah, I saw that. Oh yeah, I saw, yeah, and then they program that into their mind when really it isn't. It's a known technique of why a lot of times suspects are incorrectly identified. Because no, they saw a picture of the dude on the news, but their brain then just transposed it into their memories, and it wasn't that person at all. Again, witness statements need to be taken for what they are, even if they're given to the media or whoever. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take your... This is what you said. You said you saw 2 shooters. Gotcha. Doesn't mean there was 2 shooters. But if you want to believe that there was multiple shooters, you're just going to jump on that shit and run with it. And we saw that time and time again. I'm sure you all saw that shit. Everybody, whatever is the juiciest bit of probability and fits their narrative, it's more exciting to think that this was a CIA op than it was a bunch of fucking idiots all making the wrong decision, and now they're trying to cover that shit up. But what's more likely? Yeah, Donnie, you missed all of it. You missed all of it. Yeah. So that's what the Cowboy thinks of the situation, and I'm pretty sure that's about... I think we're all up to date now on the information that the general public has on the issue. Does anybody else have any questions on... Even if, Donna, if you got a question too, go ahead and ask, and I'll give you the abbreviated version, and you can listen to the rest after. I suggest anybody coming in late, you're going to want to listen from the beginning. And like I said, I've been busy all day. I've been working on the canoe. It's been hot. Man, another hot day. But, yeah, I'm getting there. Donna says no questions. Yeah, just... I guarantee, Donna. Listen from the beginning. You're gonna find out some information that you hadn't heard. Because you know me. I research the shit out of things, and then I present the most logical as I see it. As I see it. But yeah, now we're dealing with a cover up, and it's like the more they try to cover it up, it's like, what the fuck? Cover up is far more likely than they had nothing on this kid. Really, nothing. He was squeaky clean. There was fucking nothing. Nah, it doesn't make sense. They don't want anybody to know. Oh, another thing I was going to mention. Oh, he was a registered Republican. That was a big... He was a Yeah, he was, in Pennsylvania, which is another one of those states that allow you to register before a primary so that you can vote for that particular party. He was not a Republican. He had donated to a liberal action PAC previously. Not a lot, $15, but that's a monetary donation. Donna says closed primaries. Right. To fuck up a closed primary, you can only vote that in which you are registered to. He registered as a fucking Republican so that he could affect the Republican nominee. And there's many states that did that shit, and Democrats openly admitted that that's what they did. They're good at using loopholes to affect the change and outcome that they want. He wasn't a Republican. Donna says the Haley vote. Yeah, good example. Good example. So, like, no. I was like, again, go back to the... He was a rifle... What did I say? A rifle... God, no, I can't think. It's late in the day. A rifle enthusiast. He was a rifle enthusiast is what they said. From the time he was a teenager, he was a rifle enthusiast. Yeah, and his father had at least 20, not including the AR that he used. So he had over 20 firearms. The father did. And the shooter used his father's AR. But he was a rifle enthusiast. 20 years old. 2 years since the time he could go legally just go buy a rifle of his own. He was a rifle enthusiast that didn't even own his own fucking rifle. He wasn't a rifle enthusiast. But that's what the media's going with. The lamestream media. Oh my goodness. Oh, how childish of me to say the lamestream media. Donna says he got kicked off the club in high school. Yeah, didn't make it one day. We covered that. Yeah, we covered that. Didn't make it one fucking day. He was so bad. Rifle enthusiast. My ass. Back to lamestream media. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that little little dust up? Some gal who had recently started following my content. I think she's somewhere around my age, judging from her Facebook profile. I posted about the left and the lamestream media all lying and stuff like that, and they're evil and everything. And the only thing that she could come back with is, what's up with this childish name calling, lamestream media? Really? And I'm like, what? That's all you could come back with after all that I wrote, that I said lamestream media? So bless your heart. So then she came back with more shit. So I let her have it and say, you better rethink what you're doing. Wrong man, wrong page. Mind your manners. And then she kept coming back. Like, oh my God. And she tells me, I wake up to a message that she had posted an hour before I got up. I'm like, what the fuck is this? There she was, still posting her shit. Dude, get off me or something like that, you know. I left your page as soon as you said. It's like, you didn't fucking leave my page. Unfollowing my page is not leaving my page. You're still yammering. You're still yammering. But I took care of that shit real quick. I showed her the door. But really, I'm childish because I use the term lamestream media, a term that has been used for years. And it was in a very heated post, a very passionate post. And I dared stoop to, as she said to somebody else, 12 years old. Right. Yeah, the cowboy. I act like a 12-year-old. That's as accurate. That's an accurate depiction of the cowboy. He's childish. I am childish. How dare I use the term lamestream media? Jesus. Well, there you go. There you go. Oh, goodness gracious. What you gonna do? I got no comments. Are you guys still hearing the show? We're supposed to seemed like there was supposed to be more interest. Maybe they're hiding. Gus and Sally aren't going to be here on the show, I don't think. Maybe he's watching, but he's not going to. Peggy says, I shared your essay on term limits. I've been saying that for years. I say to eliminate the perks, timeline, pension, health care, etc. Then let's see who shows up. Yeah. Let me address some of those issues. I really hate, term limits are going to solve the problems with the legislature. No, they're not. No, they're not. You're just gonna rotate players in faster. And we've seen how many legislators that we see on their last term, they're like, I'm not gonna run again. And then they do really stupid shit. Judy says, I was just trying to digest that. Digest what? Oh, about me being childish? Oh my goodness. That's like calling me a fucking armchair jockey. Really? Look, if I don't know about something, I'll look it up. If I can't find the answer and I don't know personally about it, I won't post it. It's that easy. If I post it, I know what I'm talking about because y'all know me. I hate being wrong. I hate being wrong more than you hate me being wrong. I hate it. I'm a very analytical person. To the point of being analytical. I'm analytical about being right. So I'm very careful in what I say. But back to the legislatures. The only way to get term limits is you have to amend the Constitution. And what a lot of people don't understand is that term limits were discussed before the Constitution. People forget that there was a government before the Constitution. Do you know George Washington was not our first president? I can't remember his name, but he was not our first president. George Washington was the first president since the Constitution was enacted. But we were running under the Articles of the Confederacy before the Constitution came into effect. And term limits were discussed. There was a reason why term limits, not even for the president, they were later added in, but it took an amendment to do that. And that was because they were afraid that a president would get too powerful. Peggy says, yes, as you said, term limits only teach politicians to get theirs faster. Right. We've seen that shit. And they were arguing about that before the Constitution, and they were writing the Constitution. They're like, look, we can't agree on how many years and how many terms. So then they agreed on the years, but they couldn't agree on how many term limits, on a term limit. So they said, fuck it. And they were also saying legislators are going to work around anything anyways, which is why I point out, the issue is not how long somebody is in office. I don't give a shit about career politicians. Look, if you want to be a career politician and you're good at your job and you're following the Constitution, I got no problem with you making that your career for your entire life. I really don't have a problem with it. You said lifetime pensions, health care, etc., and then right. My thing is this is what I think. I would not even oppose paying legislators more money, not less. Get some good quality legislators in there. Would you want to pay your doctor less money? No. That's why I say, they're one of the people. I don't want my legislature or my president to be one of the people. I don't want my plumber or my freaking trash man being president. Anyone can be president. Fuck that. You know, anybody can be a legend. Fuck that. I want the cream of the crop. And you're not going to get the cream of the crop unless you make it worth their while. So I'm not opposed to actually paying them. I don't care. Pay them more. But in the same note, fucking enforce the rules. If they break the rules, kick them out and criminally charge them. That's the only way that you're going to clean up the system. As for lifetime pensions, it should be like everything else. If you work at your local damn widget factory, are you going to get a lifetime pension if you've worked there for 6 years? No. Should be like any other job. Temp job, great. Pay well, temp job. But if you want to make it your career, you better fucking do it for a career. I've said this time and time again, and people just can't seem to grasp the concept. If the Constitution was enforced, it wouldn't matter who you elected to any position in government. It wouldn't matter. That's like playing basketball. If the rules are enforced, it doesn't matter how many people want to break the rules. Because as soon as they did, they'd fucking be out of there. The problem isn't term limits. The problem isn't even pay. I am against pensions that are undeserved. President? Fuck that. That's a 8-year at most. No president should have a lifetime pension. None. They're already getting Secret Service for the rest of their life. Pension? Fuck that. No. You worked 8 years. You can't work 8 years as a CEO and get a lifetime pension. Are you kidding me? It doesn't work that way. Hata. But yeah, that's my thoughts on those issues. And then, like Peg says, let's see who shows up. Yeah. But yeah, I'm this common man shit. I hate that. I don't want my I want my representatives to be, God, we can hope, smarter than me. It's like, oh, John, no, I don't have a big ego, but I ain't dumb. I want them at least somewhere close to my intelligence. I don't want somebody stupid just because they're the common man. I'm the common man. I don't want a common man. You imagine your surgeon coming in. I'm a common man. Yeah, last week I was turning wrenches down there at Bob's Auto Shop. Here, let me clean the grease out from underneath my fingernails. I don't want a common man. I want my teachers to be uncommon. I want my doctor to be uncommon. Hell, I want my mechanic to be uncommon. I want the cream of the crop. This common man shit. Now, does that mean that a farmer or a mechanic isn't intelligent? They can be. They can be. And if they are, and they want to represent us, by all means, I'll vote for you. But you better not be running because you're the common man. I don't care how common you are. I care how smart you are. I care how capable you are. Not how common you are. I don't want my president to be like me. I don't look down on myself, but I want the president to be the best of us. I ain't the best of us. I ain't seen a president in my lifetime that was the best of us. Some were close. Some were close. But we seen a shit ton that weren't. No. What the hell? Anybody can be president. No, just like, anybody can be an astronaut. No, they can't. Anybody can be a pro football player. No, they can't. Anybody can be an actor. No, they can't. We need to bring that back. We need to bring "no, you can't" back into our lexicon. No, you can't. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. There's certain things I'll never be. Okay, fine. I'm trying to think if there was something that I wanted to be that I couldn't achieve. See, I've always set realistic goals, so Judy says she agrees 100%. That's another thing. Realism. Set realistic goals. Set realistic goals. And then you're not disappointed. Reach each level, earn it. But there's some things you're never going to do. I'm never going to be the fastest guy. I ran pretty good. I was pretty quick. But Peggy says New England, except New Hampshire, LOL, used to be intelligent, but now we are seeing voting for the lowest common denominator. Are you saying New Hampshire isn't? She goes, that's not what I'm saying. New Hampshire's a weird state. I try to say you never know how people are going to vote, but our laws, our actual laws, are more conservative than most conservative states. New Hampshire's an oasis. It's a weird anomaly up in the Northeast. But yeah, it's sad looking to go. Really, look at Massachusetts, the birth of our nation, Massachusetts. Jesus. AOC Warren, etc. Yeah. Yeah, craziness. Yeah, I don't get it. Population. The human species are like rats. Rats are incredibly intelligent creatures. But then when they reach a certain size, they go crazy and they do stupid shit because they're, in other words, numbers. And then people are like rats. Population areas. I've often said that we need, for states, we need electoral college type voting for states as we do for national elections. It prevents areas of mass population, cities, which tend to be liberal, left-leaning, from dominating the policies of the entire state. So they get to control. You live in this little area. All you shitbags are packed in an area this size. And the state is as big as the screen that you're seeing me in. And because more of you are here, you get to dictate everything in every other area, even though you don't live there, and you require them for your substance. That's insane. But that's democracy. That's why the Founding Fathers didn't like democracy. Democracy is simple mob rule. That's all it is. The left loves it. Why? Because the more people you get packed in, the more left-leaning that population becomes. So they have numbers. But we are a constitutional republic, which means we are a republic, which by definition is a government which is ruled based on representative votes, i.e., communities vote in a member to go and act on their behalf. It's not a one-to-one vote. Now, the Constitution part puts constraints on that republic, which means, no, everybody doesn't get a vote. And the representatives cannot do everything that they want to do, no matter what the will of the people is. They can't do it if it's outside of the realms that the rules stipulate. Peggy says, very true. Most of the people I grew up with in Western Massachusetts are outvoted every year. Right. It's why New York went the way that it went. It's why California went the way that it went. It's why Colorado is going the way that it's going. That's why places like Montana are having a harder time. More liberals are flocking into the population areas. Missoula, Bozeman, the two biggest liberal cities. They're getting swamped with liberals. That's bodies, and they can change the voting demographic of the entire state. See it state after state after state. And the left ruins everything that they touch. Then they burn it down and flee to another area and implement the same hogwash that they left. Oh, California's such a great place. Why are you moving to Montana? Oh, the taxes are too high. The crime is too high. Blah, 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 blah. So then you move to Montana and you go and vote for the same shit. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Good coffee. Again, blueberry cobbler from New England brand. So yeah, Peggy, thank you for sharing that little write-up on term limits. Ain't gonna change shit. But see, that's easy. It's easy. Oh, term limits is a good slogan. Term limits ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. You're either gonna have the Constitution amended from within the government, or you're gonna have a convention of states, and that's doing it outside the government. Ain't neither of them gonna happen. That's like all this talk about secession. He states, oh, Texas is going to secede. Yeah, they're not going to secede. Shut up. Bitches were still wearing masks. You're talking about you're going to secede from the United States. You were wearing masks when you openly said you didn't want to wear masks. As a state, as a people, yeah, there were some that didn't. Peggy says, and it's not the answer. Right. It doesn't even solve the problem. It's a lazy way out. Oh, we're going to impose term limits. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good luck with that. That's like watching a basketball game and saying, I'm going to have a team 3 times the size. I'm going to rotate the players in a lot quicker, and we're going to foul the shit out of everybody. Each player can only play 3 minutes. Yeah, you think that they're going to stop it. You get rid of the shenanigans by dealing with the shenanigans, not how long the player's on the court. But that takes doing something. I've said that. Folks who follow my content for years know. I preach to people all the time. You got a judge in your area that ain't doing what they're supposed to do. Impeach their ass. You can do it. You got a governor that shouldn't be there. Impeach their ass. Remove their ass. Do a recall vote. No, that takes work. Judy says, like you said, if they were held accountable for their actions, things would change. Right. That was one of the biggest things that the Founding Fathers failed to plug that hole, is accountability. They thought, oh, well, the people just vote them out. Well, what if the people are so fucking stupid they don't vote them out? Oh, we got the courts. Well, what if it doesn't make it through the courts? Welcome to 2024. Thankfully, things are starting to turn back. They switched so far to the left. And the people are starting to wake up, and they're like, now courts are starting to rule the right way again. It's like, oh, man, you didn't count for this shit. No, how about this? If I violate your civil rights, and it's an actual violation, I can be charged with it, and I can go to prison for it. Right? So how come a legislator can violate your rights, and even if it's ruled that they violated your rights, no harm, no foul. Let's just correct this, take it off the books. No, fuck that. Charge them, throw them in prison. It's that simple. If you attempt to violate the rights of the citizenry, charge them, throw them into prison. If I attempt to rob you, am I not arrested, charged, and thrown in prison? Why should legislators be any different? They do shit on a massive scale. Judy says exactly. Yeah, it's common sense. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. But the shenanigans continue because the left knows. The left knows, I'll just keep fucking doing it. Nothing happens. Biden showed that shit. It was ruled, the Supreme Court ruled that he did not have the authority to do an eviction moratorium. They said, you can't do it. Joe, stop it. What'd Joe do? Joe went on national TV and said, fuck the Supreme Court. Yep, I heard they're ruling. I'm doing it anyways. What are they going to do? It's going to be done by the time it hits court again, and then they ain't going to do shit about it. Again, you can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. And that was from a sitting president. And yet he's going to say that Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler and a dictator? Bitch, you just got on national TV and said that you are flagrantly disobeying the Supreme Court and the law of the land. Don't you dare tell me about Donald Trump. You're the one that are using your DOJ to persecute your political opponents. Don't you dare talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump was all bluster. Oh, Hillary's going to jail. Ain't nobody believe that shit. He got elected anyways. Where's Hillary? Nowhere. Tell me who Donald Trump went after and put in jail. Tell me one person. None. There's none. Because Donald Trump talks. He talks right wing. His actions are very centrist. He's an old school Democrat wearing an R. They made the boogeyman. They made the boogeyman out of him because he's been a liberal Democrat crony capitalist from way back. He was one of them. And then how dare he put on a different fucking uniform? That's why the left hates Donald Trump. Oh, and he talks bad. Oh, Donald Trump said he grabs women's pussy. No, that's not what Donald Trump said. Go back and read what he said. Now, I think he's crass. I personally don't like Donald Trump. I think he's got a lot of failings. I've never hid my views on the man. He's getting my vote. I wish the hell there was two other choices. But we don't have it. I'm a pragmatist. I'm not gonna cut my own nose off to spite my face. Because if the country burns, we're all flammable. So I made a post about that back I think a week or so ago. Because I was sick and tired of jackwagons sitting back acting all high and mighty and everybody's the problem and laugh at you and you're stupid and you're going to support this. It's like, yeah, bitch, when the country burns, you're going to burn along with it. How do you like that? You can't sanctimoniously kick your feet up on your porch and wag your finger at everybody else who at least tried to do something right or wrong to save this nation, and you just sit back there doing nothing. You're going to burn along with everybody else. So you best figure out what the hell you're going to do. Them types of people just annoy the living crap out of me. And I really don't mind fence sitters. You can't make up your mind, that's fine. I wish you'd make up your mind. But it's these sanctimonious pricks. A lot of them tend to be libertarians. Libertarians live in their own fucking head. They don't live in reality. And they're going to sit back and they're going to criticize everybody else when they ain't doing shit. They're going to burn too. Yeah, laugh then. Laugh then. Yeah. Every election season, it's a stressful time for John because all the idiots come out. And there's idiots on all sides. They don't think critically. They don't think critically. It's easy to not think critically. Go with your gut feelings and what you wish was, and then look for anything that's going to support that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I try to put out fires. I try to help this nation. I posted about that. I try to help people. If you disagree with me, fine, but you better come at me with some facts, some logic. It's why most of the time, everybody that posts up, they usually agree with me 90% or more of the time. And then the things that they don't agree with me, it's not that I'm like off in left field someplace. They just don't agree. I've stated many times, Equally intelligent people with the same exact information, same exact knowledge, same exact righteous motivations may not agree on all issues. They may come to different conclusions, and that's fine. All I ask is that people think, make logical choices. And if you think I'm wrong about something, you better come at me with, look, you can say I don't agree, that's fine. That's fine. But if you say I'm wrong and you want to debate it, then you got to come with more. You got to come with something. Rich says Trump is the new standard for a conservative candidate. God, I hope not, because Trump's not a conservative. He's not a far left liberal. Like I said, he's a classic Democrat. Got nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. Trump may be what we need now. Won't argue that. Won't argue at all. He ain't a conservative. But baby steps. Baby steps. The Overton window has moved so far left. It's again, people who are moderates are now considered right wing radicals. And it's dude's a moderate. Ain't nothing extremely right wing or no. Welcome to the show, Rich. I don't remember your name. First time on the show. People say, "Oh, there's a lot of problems in the Republican Party." Yeah, there is. Let me count the ways. But we're in a national triage stage right here. I wrote about that as well. Folks that haven't read that article, go ahead and go to my Facebook page. I wrote an article about triage. It says first time, yes. Hey, welcome to the show. How long you been listening tonight? Did you miss all the good stuff about the shooting? But yeah, go and read the triage write-up that I wrote. It's pretty stupid if the head's almost falling off to worry about some cuts and scrapes on the knees and the shins. It says 5 minutes here. Oh, man, you missed all the good stuff. You missed all the good stuff. What I'd suggest is after the show's over, go ahead and listen from the beginning again. I go over all of the information and details concerning the shooter, local PD, Secret Service, the whole 9 yards. And I guarantee you're going to hear something you haven't heard before. And I lay it out in a way that you're probably going to go, well, that makes a hell of a lot more sense than some of the hornswoggle I've been hearing out there. Hey, common sense in what reality doesn't sell nowadays. But folks who follow my content, especially for any amount of time, know that that's not where I go. I got no interest in getting people whipped up. Unless they need to be. Sometimes they do. Most of the time they don't. They need to have the right information to make the right choices in life, be it social or political. That's it. So where are you logging in from, Rich? General area. State's fine. Members who watch the show all the time, we kind of know where we all are at. Some are in Kentucky, Oklahoma. I ain't from here, but I live in New Hampshire. Raised most of my kids here. It's like, no, really? John's not from New Hampshire? No. Beautiful state, though. You get a guy from Brazil comes in every once in a while. We get some guys from Germany. Get some young fellers from Germany. They come on in. And you never know what we're going to talk about. The show is not just all politics. Usually we talk about damn near anything. It can be cars or food or movies. And truck driver, South Carolina currently. Home is Georgia. Oh, Southern boy. South Carolina. I got a brother in North Carolina. He ain't from North Carolina. He sounds like it. Sounds like he lived his whole life there. Holy crap. Yeah. Truck driver. Good. You local or OTR? And you must have hit the show. You're pretty close to spot on time wise. Sometimes when people jump in late, they're actually a few minutes late. They got to slide that slider to what's being said. I think the last show we had a big thing about Montauk. OTR. Got a sweet dedicated rig now. Oh, is it your own or is it company rig that they just assigned to you? Did you buy it? What brand? What you got? You running a Volvo? You running a Mac? What you running? Oh, he said dedicated gig, not dedicated rig. It's a small types. Dedicated is good. I go, where the hell am I gonna go? Company driver. Well, that's good. Yeah, I misread. Company driver. What type you driving? Mercedes, Volvo, Mac. What you got? What you got? Gimme. KW 1680. KW. Who's KW? Just give me a breath. I don't know. I know just a little bit. I know just a little bit. A KW. Kenworth. That's a KW. Kenworth. There we go. 1680. Kenworth. 1680. Just see, I got you. I figured it out before you. 1680. Now, what's that designate? 1680. Judy says, "Dang, Cowboy, that was fast. Fast on the draw. Got it there quicker." Kenworth. Peggy says, "Welcome, Rich. We have to go now. I have to go now. Good night, and thank you all, John." Hey, you're welcome, Peggy. Thank you for showing up. Like I said, if you had any questions, go ahead and shoot me off. Anybody got any other questions, go ahead and shoot me a direct message on Facebook, and I'll answer them. I think I got most of the stuff covered earlier in the show. Kenworth. KW. It's late. I get up early. I've been working all day and putting out content, and I do the show. K Whopper. Hey, Wayne. Wayne, how long you been on the show? You just show up? Did you catch the whole breakdown of the shooting and everything? About 2 minutes? Shit. You know the show was from 8 to 10. And we just hit 10. You missed all the good stuff. I broke it all down. Wayne and I have talked about some of these issues behind the scenes, though. So it'll have to slide back. Yeah, there might be some stuff. I told you a few of the goodies today, but not all of it. So, and I did the show off the top of my head. I didn't have time to write everything down. I just let's just try to handle each. I handled it in three sections. Started with the Secret Service, went to the local PD, and then finished up with the kid. Any issues involved with him. So I got caught up watching videos about the cover-up. Yeah, I pointed that out. Went over. That's how it ended. It's like, okay, they've already started lying about things. And just a quick synopsis, that they've got the kid's got basically no social media presence. They've got his cell phone, and there's no text or strange numbers. In other words, totally clean. No, he had 2 IEDs in the trunk of his car, but no search history of bombs or anything like that. It's like, you have search history on explosives on my search history. Rich says Pittsburgh PD doesn't have a night shift patrol. Oh, did they cut that down? Didn't they cut the hours down from the peak hours at night? Well, not the peak hours at night. So it's something like there's like a 4-hour gap or some shit like that. They did that back a while ago, didn't they, Rich? Wayne says the Secret Service are blaming local police, and the locals are calling out. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, Rich is giving me thumbs up. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, damn, John's on top of everything. I try to stay up on issues for folks. But yeah, the fingers are getting pointed in all sorts of directions now. Hey, and as I pointed out, both of them were ate up soup sandwiches during this whole thing. This was a symphony of stupidity and incompetence. And now it's all cover-up time. Again, what are the chances that really that kid had nothing? Or he had a bunch of shit, and just like the Catholic school shooting, they just want to cover it up. They don't want it out in the public. A massive cover-up of information is more likely than, oh, the kid was squeaky clean. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, I covered that already. And yeah, we're going to find out more as time goes along. You wait till the actual fucking backstabbing starts. We haven't begun yet. Oh my goodness. Wayne says locals say local police was responsible for traffic control only, and there were no local police in that building like the Secret Service. Yeah, the Secret Service said they were supposed to have the sniper on top. Then the reports came out that the sniper team was in the building, and it was like, none of this shit makes any sense. Look, that area and where that building was should have been Secret Service territory anyways. There was only limited buildings. All they needed was one extra. They needed. Was it you and I were talking about that? One more team and a couple OPs, and they'd have been fine. Perimeter is 100-yard minimum. Yeah. But 150 yards, even if it was technically just outside there, no, they'd have covered it. They'd have covered it. That building was the only. Yeah, it was. Wayne says, yes, that was us. Yeah. It's like somebody says that I'm an armchair jockey on this shit. No, Wayne will tell you. We know the shit. Wayne's a former MP. He's familiar with the stuff. I've done my time. You know? This is all basic shit. No, and like I pointed out, I listened to Dan Bongino today because I'm curious to what he had to say. He's not my favorite. He's not my favorite guy. But I listened to. He said everything I said. He didn't say anything different. I mean, he didn't get into the DEI aspect. I'd imagine he wouldn't, but he may have someplace else. I talked about DEI today on the show this evening. Yeah, you're going to have to listen to it from the beginning. Went over point by point. I think I got everything. I might have missed something. Yeah, it ain't rocket science. It's not. It's like, I've done personal detail, area detail, and convoy movement of principles. And each requires something slightly different, but, you know, it ain't rocket science. Rich says Secret Service will fly to your home to investigate presidential threats, but won't walk 125 yards. Yeah, it's a weird situation. Here's another thing. Most people don't realize that the Secret Service do a lot of stuff. Like when there's counterfeit money and shit like that, they investigate that. The Secret Service wasn't just protective details, and still isn't. So you want to put women on those investigations doing that other shit that they do, that by all means, whatever. But when it comes to presidential and or any other principal protection, you don't have unfit, unqualified, untrained people of either sex on those details. You leave DEI shit out of it. You pick the appropriate size people. You pick the appropriately trained people. That was just a freaking clown show. But like I said, it's going to be interesting seeing everybody tap dance around everything. But it's after 10. Did anybody else want to hit on anything before I close the show down? I know Peggy left. I think the other gals are still here. They didn't say goodbye yet. Want to make sure I got the answers in before I close down. Cheeto was saying that she's not changing Trump's team size. You know, I'm not even so sure that it was the size of the team. Look up to my last post. Yeah, there's no last post. I don't see it here. Rich says, I'll sub and try to catch the next one. Hey, yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, and thank you for showing up. Make sure to hit notification. I mean, each time the show goes live, I throw a link on Facebook anyways. The one about Dan Bongino. I don't see it, Wayne. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it on my end. Yeah, it goes to perimeter, 1,000 yards. Yes, it was us. Then Cheeto was trying. That's it. So I didn't get it on here. Judy says she doesn't see it either, Wayne. So it didn't come through. Maybe there was something that you said that a filter caught or something. Sometimes I miss things and I'm like, holy crap, I don't see it. Thanks, Judy. But yeah, Rich, make sure you hit the notification bell. I also have a Whiskey Cowboy Life channel as well. You might want to subscribe to that too, if you like. That's where I would do my chickens and music and anything apolitical, just, life stuff goes there. No, nothing came through, Wayne. That's odd. I was going to say, why don't you just tell us what you were saying and we'll see. No, it doesn't. I'll post you on Facebook. Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me on Facebook right now and I'll read it. Let's see here. Hold on, folks. I'll get it. There we go, right here. Don says, I'll check it out too. You're not going to get it. He's going to send it to me in a private message. I got the golf game one. That's not what you're saying. Okay. Bongino said that both Cheeto and Mayorkas were told they want to keep their jobs, so they need to keep their mouth shut. Yeah, I covered that. I covered that on the show. Yep. Yep. Got that one covered. I mentioned that. But thanks for shooting it off again. He said, damn, John's on the ball. I try. I try. Okay, I gotta send you a thumbs up on that. Facebook is stupid. If I don't respond, it'll send me a message and go, hey, you didn't respond. Donna says, Garland said today that he's going to sit in for Cheeto. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. Wayne says, there is too much coming out that this can be nothing else but deliberate. No. No. I'm not so sure. I think the deliberate part is that the Secret Service has worked themselves down into such a useless and pathetic group that it was just shit was bound to happen. But we'll see. I think now people are just trying to cover their ass. Like I said, never underestimate how stupid people can be. I don't think that you were I don't think that you were in yet. I said anytime somebody wants to say, no, that many people can't be that stupid and incompetent, say, I'll give you a location and a number. Uvalde, Texas, 400. Tell me that many people can't be that stupid. Uvalde, Texas, 400. I try not to equate to nefarious things that which can be so much easily contributed to just incompetence and stupidity. And this was a giant shit show. But we'll see as things iron out. They try to get as much information as possible. Like I said, go ahead and watch from the beginning of the show. I've made other predictions in the past too that I was right on. No, that's fine. That's fine. No, Wayne's a good guy. Wayne's a good guy. Thank you for your service, Wayne. But was there anything else before we get this closed down? I think it'd be kind of difficult to. You're welcome. You're welcome. I think I covered about everything. Wayne's going to listen and say, damn, John's got everything, fucker. Just off the top of my head. It's like, I hope I didn't forget anything. I don't think I forgot anything crucial. But I thank everybody for joining the show tonight. We used to have a lot more people when we were on Facebook doing this live. But Facebook likes to control it too much. And they say, no, you can't do shows anymore. Donna says, night all. Night, Donna. Thank you for showing up. If Gus and Sally were listening and they just didn't type up thanks for listening, they were busy. They had to drive their relatives back down and back up again. Rich clapped. Thanks, Rich. Yeah, Wayne said Biden said last night he wouldn't step down short of a medical emergency, and today he claims he contracted COVID and might step down. No, that one didn't go on YouTube. Thank you for posting. I have no idea why they're stopping your post from coming through, but yeah, I had to figure something was going to happen. But I'm like I said, with the Democrats, you just never know. Judy says, thank you. Very informative. You're welcome, Judy. You're welcome, Judy. Like folks know, I don't come up with theories off the top of my head. I think them through. And before I post up about it, I want to make sure I have some information. Wayne says, I do. It's called censorship. It is. It's not me, though. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Wayne. But, did we miss anybody else? Did we miss anybody else? I don't think I missed anybody else. I know we had more people watching. We still got 6 people left. But I don't want to forget everybody. Anybody. I don't want to forget everybody. What? I'm not Biden. But thank you for joining the show. I'll be online again tomorrow. I'm working really hard on that canoe though, and post up a bunch of stuff today. I please everybody just go, and if you haven't already, look at the couple things that I had posted up about me and my content directly. Give it some thoughts. Judy's laughing at me. Stop it. Man, thanks Rich for showing up. Well, I am going to close out the show. Good night, Judy. She says good night, y'all. Good night, everybody. Peg, Patty, Linda Lou, Lucy, Grandma, Jim Bob, Wayne says good night, everybody. Hey, and thanks again for showing up, Wayne. It's okay that you're late. That's fine. I'm glad you showed up anyways. But I'll see everybody online. And with that, God bless and take care.